All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our BCBA task list series. Today we're continuing behavior change procedures with G14. Use reinforcement procedures to weaken behavior. G14 is kind of a strange task list item because it's trying to combine a lot of different ideas into one. And so what we're going to focus on with G14 is differential reinforcement. And it's the idea where we are reinforcing one behavior and putting other behaviors on extinction. Functional communication training and non contingent reinforcement are covered elsewhere. And so we're not going to focus specifically on these two ideas today, although they can also help to weaken behavior through reinforcement. Our primary objective today is to talk about differential reinforcement. As always, be sure to subscribe for all of our updates. We post 3 times a week. We also have RBT videos as well. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. The link is in the comments below. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shoutout. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. All right, so differential reinforcement. It's one of the most common intervention strategies we use day to day in ABA. And it's very straightforward. We're going to reinforce selected behaviors while putting other behaviors on extinction. We use differential reinforcement to teach communication. We can shape with differential reinforcement. We teach discrimination, differentiation. It's a very versatile and strong intervention strategy. It's effective at increasing behavior, decreasing behavior, and teaching new behaviors. This makes it one of the most common interventions in ABA. It's one of the best interventions we have, and there are many different ways we can implement differential reinforcement. So if you look at this small list here, we have the acronyms for our different differential reinforcement styles, which we're going to cover each one of these. And you can see I've grouped them because you want to kind of think about the different strategies in terms of this grouping. And we're going to go over why now. So let's first think about differential reinforcement to teach replacement behaviors. When we think differential reinforcement in practice, we frequently think about replacement behaviors. And there are 2 types of differential reinforcement that are going to explicitly teach replacement or alternative behaviors. And those are DRAs and DRIs. We have differential reinforcement of alternative behavior and differential reinforcement of incompatible behavior. Now, what is the difference? The only difference between a DRA and a DRI is with a DRA, an alternative behavior strategy, whatever you're replacing the old behavior with, it can occur at the same time as the old behavior. So the new behavior and the old behavior can occur simultaneously. Think about if you have a child who hits to gain access to a toy, you teach them instead to ask for the toy. They can still hit and ask for the toy at the same time. Those would be alternative behaviors. Incompatible behaviors are behaviors that are incompatible, often topographically, with the old behavior. So going back to the hitting for the toy, if you want the client to tap somebody's shoulder and not hit their shoulder, well, those are incompatible because we're not tapping and hitting at the same time. And now in practice, right, we can get very pedantic about this and very specific about this. But on your exam, think about it like that. Is my replacement behavior, can it occur simultaneously with this old behavior, or are they topographically different to the point where they're incompatible with each other? So the main idea with an alternative behavior strategy and an incompatible behavior strategy is we are explicitly teaching replacement behaviors, and they're the exact same strategies, except one teaches an alternative behavior, which means it can occur at the same time, and one teaches an incompatible behavior, which can't occur at the same time as the old behavior. Then, moving on to differential reinforcement that reduce specific behaviors. So we have 3 types here, and these are probably the ones people struggle with the most. Let's start with one of the basic ones, differential reinforcement of other behaviors. And a DRO procedure is so different from the other procedures because we are strictly looking to reinforce in the absence of the behavior. We are specifically looking for a behavior to not occur. So, what might that look like? Well, let's say we have a client who engages in screaming throughout the day. Our DRO strategy might involve setting a timer for 5 minutes, and if the client doesn't scream for 5 minutes, we reinforce. Now, DRO is not teaching an alternative behavior. One of the concerns with DRO is when you deliver reinforcement, you could be reinforcing nearly anything. And so we want to be smart with differential reinforcement of other behaviors. It's typically used to reduce very dangerous or high rate behavior. And again, we are looking for the absence of the behavior to not occur. Then we have differential reinforcement of diminishing rates and of lower rates. And the question is, what is the difference? So these are very similar, right? We select a target behavior and we're trying to reduce that target behavior. Let's just say raising hands in the classroom, right? If we were to use a diminishing rate procedure to target raising of the hand, we would set a criterion during a set interval. Meaning, we might set the interval for 1 hour, which might be the length of a class, and the criterion is 5 hand raises. If the client raises their hand less than 5 times during the hour, we deliver reinforcement, and then we can decrease that criterion. Lower rates is very similar because lower rates can also use the criterion interval model, but you can also use inter-response time with lower rates. You're not eliminating the behavior with the DRL. So how do we use inter-response time for hand raising? Well, we might set an inter-response time for 20 minutes, meaning you must go 20 minutes or longer in between raising your hand to receive reinforcement. So that's the main difference here between these two ideas, okay? Both are working to decrease inactive behavior. And then with DRO, we're trying to get rid of a behavior by reinforcing when it doesn't occur at all. Finally, a differential reinforcement that increases current behavior, and we have differential reinforcement of higher rates. A DRH is very similar to a diminishing strategy, except now we're trying to increase behavior. So we're going about it the same. We're going to choose an interval. So let's say we want to increase hand raising. Our time is an hour. Let's say we set our criterion at 6. We would want more than 6 hand raises in order to deliver reinforcement. That's very similar to a DRD, except we are now increasing the behavior. So you might ask, on my exam, how will I separate all these strategies? Well, the first thing you want to ask is, are you explicitly teaching an alternative or replacement behavior? If you are, you're very likely looking for a differential reinforcement of alternative behavior strategy or an incompatible behavior strategy. If you are trying to increase a current behavior, you're very likely looking for a differential reinforcement of higher rate strategy. If you're trying to decrease a behavior, then you can look at the DRO, the diminishing, and the lower rates. And going down that checklist, you're going to start to eliminate different options until you only have maybe 1 or 2 left. I think the strategy that is different from all the other ones is our DRO, because with the DRO, we're reinforcing for a behavior not occurring, which is very unusual. Even with the DRL and DRD, the behavior is allowed to happen some given the criterion. The DRO, it's not like that. But that being said, if you've worked as a behavior technician, or if you've been studying, if you're working on fluency, differential reinforcement is not that difficult of a topic, and it comes up all the time. So you should be very used to talking about it, thinking about it, and discussing it. So keep at it, and it's going to become second nature. And when you get differential reinforcement questions on the exam, you should be able to answer them, no problem. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com. The link is in the comments below. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.